What was the creepiest thing you saw while visiting someone at their house? I went to visit a neighbor who had just moved into a bigger home. She had 11 children. I sat down at the kitchen counter as my neighbor was getting us tea. All of a sudden, the dishwasher slowly opens from the inside and out crawled a kid. Couldn't have been more than 18 months old. Kid looks at me then crawls away. I thought I was on camera being punked somehow, but my friend never saw it and never skipped a beat in whatever she was talking about. It was weird, and the kid was creepy. 11 kids and only so many hours in a day. Gotta get them all clean somehow. Props for self-bathing at 18 months old. I was at sleepover and we were watching a movie in their shed, and since we were 10 it got scary, so we went back into the house and we passed by this, what we thought was a toy snake. It was humongous. Anyway, she brushes it off saying it was probably her brother's, and we went inside. I mentioned it to her mum saying it was so cool, and she was like, "What toy snake?" Turns out it was a 2-meter snake. Thaga finally was venomous. I'm Australian. Back in high school, a longtime friend of mine used to work for a stereotypical eccentric rich guy, mainly charity and non-profit stuff. But he collected the rarest historical memorabilia, and my friend was giving me an unofficial tour of the room where this guy stored everything. To that freaked me out were Haitian slave shackles from colonial times and a cracked voodoo doll that was supposedly haunted. Nope, no thank you sir. My uncle had an entire room of pornography magazines and DVDs just laying around. Stacks of magazines and boxes of videotapes. I stumbled upon it by accident when I was playing hide and seek with my cousin. He yelled at me that I couldn't go look at his dad's dirty books. Me, being a dumbass, asked why he didn't just clean them. Had a sleepover at a friend's when I was around 12. The dad sat at the dinner table in only his tighty whities and didn't say a single word. The entire family was clearly intimidated by him as no one else said a single word for the entire meal either. I never slept over again. I fix computers and go to people's houses from time to time to do so. One day a guy who looked a vampire answered the door. He had black curtains, red walls, a literal demon shrine with the pentagram, goat skull, incense and all. He was pasty white, whiter than me, and I'm a ginger, wearing a black silk suit, and had dark heat circles. I walked in, looked around for about a minute as he showed me where his desk was, then pretended to get an emergency text to nope the fuck out to there. Not about to be your next sacrifice, or hex my dude. A wooden voodoo doll looking thing that my friend's dad bought back from his vacation to some weird third world country. It was old, so he took it to some sort of specialist who said that if it was authentic it was definitely made with human remains. My friend told me that when I was holding the thing, and as soon as he did I noticed its teeth looked a little too real in comparison to the rest of it, so I put that shit down immediately cause like what the fuck, I'm not holding a doll made of people, that's fucked. My husband and I were house shopping. We go with our realtor to view this one house that was super nice, checked all of our boxes, and within our price range. The first thing we noticed is there were security cameras in every single room, even in the bedrooms. Odd but whatever. We finally get to the master bedroom, where there was a shrine of maybe 5-year-old girl above the master bed. There were old bouquets of flowers and candles surrounding the shrine, which led us to believe the little girl was deceased. They even kept the girl's bedroom fully intact. We noped out so quick. They pulled the house off the market the next day. We suspect they were watching us on their surveillance. Here's a hidden story there. I'd want to know. I searched the address afterward to try and find some more info, maybe a name or something, but no luck. Something strange definitely happened there. The cameras added to the mystery. I had a male friend who seemed pretty normal. He was a shy nerd who had a bit of trouble making friends. We bonded over video games and anime. He left the room to greet another friend at the door. He had a notepad under his pillow, and it had really detailed, beautiful drawings of me. It was flattering, until I flipped further. There were pictures of me. Some were printed out screenshots of my Insta posts or friend snap stories, but others were just pictures of me in class or at the mall, and they weren't pictures taken to my knowledge or accidentally. He was a r/incel/neckbed type. We stopped hanging out after that. He started getting really creepy and pushy, and so I cut all contact with him. My aunt and uncle had just moved into a 3-story row home in a bad New Jersey town. I was a kid and went up to the 3rd floor, where there was a lot of wood paneling on the walls. In the corner of the hallway there was a door with no handle. You just pushed in and it opened. They had just bought the house, and so they hadn't really checked out this area. My cousin and I opened the door and there were no lights or windows inside, and the light from the hall was only cast about a few feet in. The remainder was pitch black. We entered the room, and soon after taking a few steps I felt my foot hit some metallic objects. So I kneeled down, and just at the edge of the light I see a long, coiling belt of 30 caliber machine gun rounds. I remember feeling this blunt sensation of unease. My cousin and I then told our parents about it, and I remember them going in and raising their voices in disbelief and shock. I never knew what else was in that room, but it definitely creeped me out. Not so much as creepy to me as sad, but when I was a teenager I was hanging out with 2 close friends who took me to their friend's house. This girl was extremely messy. Not just messy, her room was so dirty. There was garbage everywhere, clothes everywhere, it was gross. We were all smoking, and when I asked for an ashtray she told me to just ash on the floor. There was animal feces on the floor as well, and when we were talking the topic of her mother came up. Her mom died, and she lived with her grandma, but this girl said that her mother's ashes were somewhere in her room, but she couldn't find the container anywhere. Like, wow. I didn't go back to her house. She was a nice girl, she just needed to clean her room and find her mother's ashes. I went to visit my friend. I'm male and she's female. Her mom told me she was upstairs. We were in high school still, so I went up the stairs to see her playing, staring at a picture of me, while I just closed the door. Later found out she has a shrine of me in her closet full of pictures, plushes, and stories of me and her, on top of that her younger sister, 12, keeps asking when are we gonna have sex, and if she could watch. Thank God they moved. The worst part is, many people don't care about this, but when the genders are reversed, it get like 5x creepier to some people. Even thought no matter the gender, someone doing that is fucking disturbing and creepy. I had an acquaintance who invited me to his home for a party. The guy was an amputee due to a diabetic foot. I think cause I didn't pry. But a few years back, when he got it amputated, he decided it would be cool to get the bone kept. So this foot bone is used as a paperweight on his desk right now. Was creepy when I saw it. Now I kinda think it's cool. I think he got the idea off an article once of some guy doing the same thing. I had friends who would visit their aunt and uncle down the street from me, and we would play together. The uncle had a back porch that was filled from floor to ceiling, along all the walls, with piles of stuffed animals. It isn't creepy until you know he molested all of us when we would play at their house, and later got arrested for sexual abuse of children. My grandma does not allow anyone to sit on my granddad's chair. She thinks he still sits there. The worst part is that when I sat on it, being the rebellious teenager I was, when my grandma wasn't there, the chair started moving aggressively. This is a rocking chair, mind you. I got up immediately and ran away. I cannot stay in the room alone anymore, lol. When I was 4 I went to my grandma's house. She had invited us to eat, and other aunts and uncles. My mom decided to stay. A thing that my aunts always do is tell scary stories about the house, so I was not that positive about staying there. Worst part is that my grandma has a big closet, almost 12 feet of length and 3 feet of width, and at the end it had a porcelain doll. It was a type you see in horror stories. Anyway, at night I woke up to go to the bathroom. While I walk there I see the doll, it was just there. Anyways, I finish with my business and I see the closet with clothes but with no doll. I got scared and I ran immediately to the bed. From that night I always tried convincing my mom to not stay in the house. So I'm a Jewish guy and I was sleeping at my Indian buddy's house for a weekend. I woke up early in the morning and stumbled into a room filled with swastikas all over the walls, almost like a mural. I basically was thinking, oh shit. It ends up that the room was for his parents' prayer, as they were very devout Hindus and the swastikas represented peace in their culture. I guess you learn something new every day. Please subscribe, like this video, and write a comment, you penguins.